Let's get started. So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, in which I'm going to give you a bit more information around what Cookdown is and why we started it, and what our products are and what's kind of involved. So we'll start with that. We'll go through the product list. We'll go through an easy tune demo, in which we've got something really cool and new to show you today, which is a demo of time of day alerting, which is an exclusive not yet seen, and a bit of a look at what's kind of coming up next. But before I kind of get stuck in, if you've got any questions at any point during today's webinar, obviously use the webinar chat or use Twitter, and we're at team_cookdown, and we'll get straight back to you. Obviously, that's also true if you have questions outside of the webinar. All right, so let's get stuck in. And I'll start by saying hello and introducing myself. So my name is Bruce Cullen. Bit about me, I guess. I was a release manager at Citrix. I worked on the Zen app and Zen desktop product line for years. I ran them for a number of years, then I joined Squared Up. I was the program manager for all of the Squared Up releases, starting from Squared Up 3.4, and ran many technical preview programs and Squared Up 4 itself. And with me in the room, I have Nathan Foreman.
My name is Nathan Foreman. I've been working in SCOM for a couple of years now. It's 8 to maybe 10 years. I was in environments of 3,000 to 4,000 agents with C.H. Robinson for a couple of years, and then moved into architecture of management packs and helped found Cookdown.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. So we have one thing in common, which is really important for Cookdown, which is we want to make SCOM better, which is a quite nice sort of scene setter for why Cookdown. So why are we doing Cookdown? At a high level, the most important thing is SCOM is here to stay. There's lots of talk of cloud products and cloud monitoring, which is great. But while there's still on-prem, there is no better tool than SCOM for on-prem monitoring. So we see, even with the rise of cloud, that SCOM isn't going anywhere, and we're likely to see more of a spread in monitoring tools. So SCOM is here to stay. It's also clear to us that SCOM needs some love. It's, not the most modern of platforms. It hasn't changed the way it looks and fundamental sort of feature set since 2012. And we think it needs some love to be able to stay at the top of its game and continue to be best to breed. And that's where we come in with integrations. So SCOM needs integrations. It needs more than just additional monitoring capabilities. So this is integrating SCOM with other platforms and allowing it to do more kind of things. That's where Cookdown kind of comes in. And the final point, which is really, really key, is that we're a spin out from Squared Up. So I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with Squared Up and what it does. But fundamentally, Squared Up has been delivering SCOM-based dashboards since 2011. Going forward, Squared Up is looking at focusing on dashboards, not just based around SCOM. But given we know the above 3 bullet points are very true, SCOM needs some love and it is here to stay and needs integrations, we wanted to double down our investment in SCOM rather than sort of back away. And that is why Cookdown. In summary, Cookdown loves SCOM. We think SCOM is super awesome and is here to stay. So hopefully that's given you a bit of context as to why Cookdown. Next, to move on to our products. So the first set of products to talk about is our ServiceNow Connect series of products, suite of products. But before I kind of dig into them, I guess you guys probably all know what ServiceNow is. It's a very prevalent IT ticketing system, primarily for ITSM and ITOM. It's very hot right now, which is sort of counter, unfortunately, to SCOM. But the ServiceNow space needs, ServiceNow as a product itself doesn't have all of the capabilities that other products like SCOM have. So for us, integrating those two products is a really key piece of the overall picture. As obviously the SCOM alert and monitoring data flowing through into ServiceNow will really add to the ServiceNow story. And unfortunately, CIOs are focusing more and more on ServiceNow and moving away from SCOM. The vast majority of business processes are integrated in it. So being part of that game is really key. So the first product to talk about is our Alert Sync product. The Alert Sync product takes SCOM alerts and integrates them with ServiceNow and has the ability to automatically raise incidents. There is a discovery product, which is all about CMDB population. We use all of the cool stuff in SCOM to populate your CMDB. We have a service mapping offering, which joins the dots between all of those individual configuration items that are created in ServiceNow to build out the picture and allow incidents to be quickly routed to the right person. I'm not going to go into ServiceNow in great detail in this webinar. I'm focusing on today EasyTune. If you're interested in the ServiceNow products, on the 15th of May, we're going to be hosting another webinar focusing on ServiceNow. We're hoping that will be the first of a kind of series of webinars. If you go to go.cookdown.com/webinar, all the details are there for signing up for that if you're interested. So on with the show. We'll focus on the SCOM only sort of solutions now under SCOM Essentials. So first up, we have PowerShell authoring. So PowerShell authoring was available under Squared Up for a few years now. It's a key product as we see it for SCOM. It allows you to author using PowerShell rather than the kind of Antiques Roadshow Visual Basic equivalent, which is what you get out of the box. We also have the community catalog, which is just that. It's a catalog of management packs. So in many hours of surfing the internet looking for SCOM solutions, you come across really cool management packs that are out there that exist that you can consume today. But there was no kind of central catalog that you could browse to find them. So that's where community catalog comes in. Really awesome, easy way to do that. And finally, we have EasyTune. So EasyTune is not something that existed before Cookdown. And EasyTune basically solves your alert tuning woes. And that's the thrust of today's webinar. But before we go on to EasyTune, one really key piece of information. So PowerShell authoring is free. Community catalog is free. And guess what? EasyTune is free too. There's also a pro edition of EasyTune for some extra features. So obviously, this is great for you guys, but we think this is a really important piece of our whole kind of story. Because we think that these three products are key to succeeding with SCOM. And so we didn't want to charge for these products. We wanted everyone to be able to get them. We think every SCOM management group on the planet should have these products available. So that's the scene set. Let's dig into EasyTune a bit then. So what is EasyTune? So EasyTune is all about solving your alert tuning woes. Sounds simple, right? I guess a number of you will be familiar with tuning overrides in SCOM, about how painful that can be. It's sort of 10 clicks a go, and that's to tune a single override. And you probably have to do, a couple of thousand. It can take days, weeks. If you've got multiple groups to tune, times that by 2, it's a very painful process. And when you're done, until you actually see what alerts are generated, you have no confidence that you've set it up correctly, which is where EasyTune and the notion of tuning packs comes in. So tuning packs allow you to tune with one-click tuning and leverage community tuning best practices, which is great for kind of onboarding a new monitoring tool and getting it set up and getting going really quickly and easily. Tuning packs are essentially collections of overrides. But rather than go on with slides anymore, I'm going to get stuck in straight away with a demo. So if I go to SCOM now, here we are, you will see EasyTune. So the first thing to say before I go into the details is it's just a management pack like any other. We put an extra node in the administration pane, and the first thing you see is tuning packs. So there's two different sources, community and local. So the community ones come from our community GitHub repository, and it's really easy to tune from them. I'm going to set up SQL Server 2008, at a global level to kind of set the stage here. So I'm going to hit tune globally. I'm going to specify my level. I'm going to set the discovery only level. So the discovery only level has turned off everything that isn't just a straight discovery. You see a summary of what's going to be set up. You specify a management pack in which the overrides will be stored, and you get a summary. So I'm going to hit finish and talk while it's doing its thing. So this is tuning something like 600 workflows or something like that at a global level. You can see the name of the management pack in which those overrides will be stored. So, there's no kind of secret, bespoke, weird stuff going on here. It is just a management pack, which is SCOM best practice. You can see the tuning level that we've set, and you can see exactly what we've been setting here. All of this information will be added to the knowledge tab of the created management pack, which is really great for kind of working out what the effective overrides are and unpicking things. There you go. So we've just tuned about 600 overrides in about 30 seconds, a minute. Pretty awesome, right? Obviously, that's great. We've tuned the global level. You'll want to tune group levels as well. We recommend that you set a light touch global level, so something like discovery only, and then setting more granular, more aggressive tuning for specific groups. So the best use case for this that I've heard is the SQL case. So your DBAs won't be too happy with you if you put a whole bunch of extra load on all the SQL servers by full monitoring, essentially. You want effectively something really high level for the global picture, and then to tune specific groups with more aggressive monitoring. So what I'm now going to do is do just that. I'm going to tune a group. I'm going to pick a level. I'm going to pick the full level. A thing just to say on these levels. So with all tuning packs, you get an MP default and you get a discovery only level. So these two levels are created for every single tuning pack that exists. The MP default is just that. The management pack authors for the management packs that do the monitoring, the actual monitoring, in them specify their defaults. We extract them when we create tuning packs and allow you to tune to those levels. We also have discovery only, which is what it says on the tin. Everything that isn't a discovery workflow is turned off. All the other ones in this list are fully customizable. So full essentials and balanced are baked into this community tuning pack. So I'm going to select full here, and I'm going to apply full tuning to my production SQL servers group. There it is. So there you go. You see the summary here, which shows you what's going to be set. So you get all of the workflows, you get the default value and what your override is going to be. We have the option to set up time of day alerting. I'm going to show you that a bit later on. That's one of the EasyTune Pro features. You can specify a management pack. You can accept the default, which creates a new one every time, or you can specify your own. And there's the summary. So I'm going to apply that. So again, you see exactly what it's doing. So group target, you can see the destination management pack. It's sensibly named, so you can unpick what's been done. The good thing about doing it through the tool is we always apply with the same kind of naming convention. So it's completely clear what's actually being applied. Tuning level full and the target obviously in there as well, along with the full summary. So I'll just give this a moment to go through. There we go. So you will see, here you go, configure tuning, global level is discovery only, and SQL production service is set to full. Great. So there you go. Really easy, really simple to do. All the community packs you can copy locally to enable you to customize them. If I open the local store, you'll see all of the tuning packs I've already set. So the first thing you'll notice is they appear to be Excel files. So we think this is a really important thing. Again, no proprietary tooling or whatever is required to set these things up. They're all CSV files. So if I just open one here, you'll see in each tuning pack the list of workflows, the type of workflow they are, so whether they're a monitor, a rule, discovery, etc. You see the management pack's default value and the override type, and then all columns afterwards. So this column I is my custom level. To add a new level, you just chuck a new column in here, BC custom, whatever. And you can tell what the override type is. You can tell it's a Boolean, so you know it's a true false value that it will take. You get the idea. And because it's just CSV, we kind of envisage teams showing these files around. Maybe the monitoring expert will sit down with the SQL expert, and together you'll go through it and decide what the values should be. No need to know how SCOM works or anything. Everything is in the CSV. So really valuable. All right. So going back to slide land for a second. So just to recap what I've shown you EasyTune Free so far. We haven't gone into anything pro. There are more features than I've got time to show in this webinar. So, there's content I haven't shown. If I get time at the end, I'll go into it. And we're coming on to EasyTune Pro. But in free, you can easily set overrides en masse via tuning packs. You can tune globally, you can tune specific groups, and you can tune specific objects. You can tune from the community store, which is great for taking best practice from the community and applying it rather than having to reinvent the wheel every time. And that's what you get with free. And it's available right now, and it literally is free. If you go to this URL, go.cookdown.com/EZY, you can sign up today and get that and be successful. Again, we think it's a key management pack and is a key piece of being successful with SCOM. So now on to EasyTune Pro. So seeing is believing. So obviously I'll show you a demo of that too. But at a high level, first feature is the ability to capture your existing effective overrides. So this is great for where you've got a group tuned up exactly the way you like it, but you want to apply that same tuning to a second group, or for migration between management groups. So this is the whole, I'm running SCOM 2012. I want to migrate to SCOM 2019, but I want to capture my existing tuning in this area. You could do that at varying levels. Really powerful feature. There's a PowerShell SDK, which is all about automation. The vast majority of what you can do with EasyTune from the UI, you can do from the SDK as well. Great for the automation use cases. You have rich config drift detection, which is perfect for, I set this override, what's actually in effect, and making sure that once you've reached SCOM alert tuning nirvana, you can kind of keep it there. And finally, time of day alerting. So this one's been knocking around internet forums since the dawn of SCOM, basically. So this is the whole use case of wanting to set some overrides in different windows of time. Rather than me look at slides and kind of witter on more, I'll go back to demo land and I'll show you. So the first thing I'll do is I'll flick my environment into pro mode. I've got a special version here that doesn't require a license key. There you go. The first thing you'll see is there is that config detection, drift detection column. So you can see really easily at a high level what's going on. So I can see my Tomcat tuning pack has global level drift. You can see it in the bottom section here. I'm not going to go into the details in this webinar on how that works, but you can see it's there. In the bottom right corner, you get tuning pack migration actions, which is all the stuff around capturing existing tuning, effective tuning. There's the PowerShell SDK, which isn't much to sort of demo. It's all the same functionality. And there's time of day alerting, which is where I'm going now. So to go back to my SQL use case, I've set a global level discovery only and tune my production SQL service to full monitoring. And that's great. That works for business hours. But a common use case that we hear quite often is the whole backup scenario. So between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. every night, my SQL servers are backed up. And during that window, CPU pegs, great. It happens every single day, and SCOM goes mental when it happens, firing alerts off left, right, and center. It's really annoying, and it happens every single day. I don't want to see those alerts. So I'm going to tune the same group to a different level, which I've called backup only, backup mode, for that level. Another really good use case for this feature is, rather than throttling back the alerts, is to introduce a more granular, fine-grained level of alerting. So, for example, the 9 a.m. bootstorm scenario, for example, you might want more fine-grained tuning. So this is, everyone logging in at 9 a.m. Typically that's where you'll have performance issues because everyone's hitting your servers hard. You might want per second monitoring for that 9 till 10 window, and then to throttle back to the default level the rest of the day. Anyway, you'll see the backup mode. In the backup mode level, I have basically overridden my CPU parameters. Default is true. I've set them to false. So now I'm going to turn on time of day overrides. And here we go, a calendar. I'm going to, for the purposes of demos, just set one so that I don't have to fill in this data for every single day. I'm going to specify that at 9 o'clock, these overrides come into effect until 10 o'clock. And you can, another option here is you can specify that this override should be in effect all day. I'm not going to check that because it'll just take out what I typed. Another key thing here is you can specify that the overrides are active inside of a schedule, what you're specifying here, or outside of a schedule. So I want the overrides I've set, in other words, to turn off CPU monitoring between 9 and 10 inside of schedule. So I'm going to accept that and hit next. Again, you specify a management pack and you see the summary, and I hit finish and it will apply it. And it's as simple as that. SCOM will go and do the right thing. It's a really simple and effective feature that allows you to do exactly what it says on the tin, time of day alerting. And as with all of our solutions, it will be great to get your feedback on how they work for you, if there are features you'd like to see added, and obviously if you want to see more, then we're happy to hear about it. So that's now in effect. There we go. So you can see production SQL servers, backup mode only level is set there, as well as full. Really powerful feature. And that's time of day alerts. I hope you'll agree that's a really powerful, really awesome feature. So just to go back, before I go back to slides, actually, I've got enough time. I think I'm going to go into show you config drift detection quickly. So here I've got my Tomcat tuning pack, and you can see I've tuned it to discovery only mode at a global level. But you can see that there's drift in here, global override drift. You can see it down the bottom here. If I drill into this and click the discovery only UI, you get this screen here. You can see all of the overrides, the workflow, sorry, that I have overridden, my target value, so this is what I've overridden that workflow to, and then the effective override. So great, no config drift there. There's a button at the bottom, show me only values with drift. So this guy has been overridden. There is, oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so in this case, rather than the value being incorrect, you can see the target value and the effective value are exactly the same. You can see that's perfect. The value is the same, but not managed override. So what this means is that while the effective monitoring is correct, the place in which this override is stored is not managed by EasyTune, which means it's possible that it could drift more easily. So really easy, you can get that visibility into what's going on. If I drill into this guy and go a level deeper, you can, this is the override properties now, SCOM standard UI. You can see in the details, my custom monitoring overrides. That's the guy that's been set up and has overridden my alert tuning Nirvana here. So we give you the tools to be able to unpick the mess that's been created, and to get real visibility into it. Cool. I didn't think I was going to get time to show that, but I'm glad I did. Great. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you go about capturing tuning from a specific group. Let's go with group. And let's pick the, what's the group I want called? Sales app group. Core sales app service, there it is. So I want to basically capture the effective overrides from this group. The next thing you'll see is the list of management packs from which we're collecting the workflows. So this is the list. If you want to remove any of the management packs from this list, you can easily do so just by hitting remove here. So I know, for example, we don't use anything from the Operations Manager APM library, so I'm going to take this one out of the tuning pack that I'm capturing. I'll then hit next, give the tuning pack a name. So this is sales, sales, how if I can type, sales app tuning pack. You give it a description, you put in your author. This is me, Bruce, and you specify the location. So by default, this is where your local store is, and you hit create. This will effectively capture that tuning from wherever it is and save it as a CSV, sales app tuning pack. There it is. So if I fire this guy up in Excel, in addition to what you're expecting to see, so the default value and the custom value, which is the effective overrides, you also see override notes and override source So these are really useful for kind of troubleshooting. So this can be used as a troubleshooting tool too. So if at the point the effective override was set, notes are added, you get those notes here too. And the override source is effectively the name of the management pack in which the effective override is stored. So my.company groups is where this custom level is set. You can see it's different from the management pack default level, and you can see why it was set up. Just because whoever the hell set this up happened to be nice and put that information in there, which is great. So really useful for kind of troubleshooting. And because it's CSV, you would just copy across this CSV to your new management group and apply it, or apply it to a new group. Great. So now to go back to slide land for a second. That's essentially Easy Tuning in a nutshell. I hope you agree it's a really awesome solution and has real value for SCOM. Again, we think it's a product that the whole world kind of needs. Every management group needs this. If you like what you've seen and want to hear more about it, in particular time of day alerting, head over to go.cookdown.com/easy-tune-pro. And that's the Easy Tune Pro page. All of the information, including pricing, is available there. And we're at hello@cookdown.com and on Twitter at team_cookdown. I'm happy to spend as much time as whoever wants talking about our solutions and products. I think they're awesome and I love them. So do reach out. We'd love to hear what you've got to say. And if you want to talk more about Easy Tune Pro or any of our other solutions. So just one last thing to say, which is next up, we have a webinar on ServiceNow. So here's the URL I mentioned earlier in the call. So go.cookdown.com/webinar. The next one's on the 15th of May at 3 p.m. So I'm expecting we'll probably start that one by looking at alert sync, but we'll see how we go. We're hoping that these webinars will be a kind of frequent series in which we can go into products, but also cool kind of industry news, depending on what we hear. And that's the plan. So I hope you've enjoyed today's webinar, and hopefully I've given you a bit of a better feel as to who we are and why we are. So that's everything I had to say. So thank you very much for attending or for listening on the recording. And until next time, thank you very much. Cheers, guys.